Hey everyone, Agnach here. Welcome to another video. Hope everyone is enjoying the new stuff Town Hall 14 has brought us. I used to use witches in Legends League, and even though they are still quite strong, I found that against max bases they were coming a little bit short. This was around the 5600 trophies. I'm not sure if you're finding it the same with the witch spam, but that's what I found with all the new multi-infernos and the Scattis and the eagle and all that kind of stuff. So one of the troops that received a new level and everyone seems to dismiss it is the Valkyrie. So I decided to come up with a combo that uses the Super Valkyrie. So I came up with this, a couple of Super Wall Breakers, Cocoloons, 4 healers, 4 Pekkas and 5 Super Valks. The spells I use 2 jumps, 5 bat spells and 2 freezes, and in the CC I bring a rage and a poison, and usually I use the 2 Yetis, Valk and a Bard for my legend attacks. But if it is a war attack and you know you'll be using the siege barracks instead of the blimp, then bring either Hawks or Valk. So let me show you some of my legend attacks. This is where around the 56 to 5700 trophy range, so let's go. So this is the first attack and I'm coming in with max Super Valks. However, I'm also showing some of my attacks that I did with Lord Lairback, and that one has only level 8 Super Valks and is still quite strong. So with this one is pretty much just like the Chinese mash, just that you bringing bad spells, and also instead of the Super Wizards you're bringing the Super Valks. So you're using the Warden on one side, and I use the King and Siege Barracks on the other side, using the Super Wall Breakers just to open up the base where I want them to go in. Now, because you're using the Super Valks, the important thing about them is that when they die, they throw a small rage spell. So apart from that initial rage spell, you don't really need to have any rages anywhere around the base. So you can just bring 2 jumps, which is what I did here. I use the jumps just to direct my troops wherever I want them to go. Obviously, because you're coming in with bad spells, you want your main troops to get rid of as much splash damage as you can, i.e. the multi-infernos, the scatter shots, wizard towers, that kind of stuff. Obviously the eagle, you're gonna have to keep an eye on it because it loves targeting bats, but on this occasion, it's still not targeting our bats since we still have quite a few Pekkas still alive. The Scattershot was targeting the Pekkas as well, so the bats can sneak in, get rid of it, use my second freeze for that Wizard Tower. The other Wizard Tower is gonna start getting tanked by my Pekkas, probably, maybe, hopefully. Nope, kills all of my bats, but that's alright. We still have a few Pekkas, we still have the Royal Champion, we still have the Warden. A lot of healers still alive, and we've got our Yetis walking around. So the reason why I bring the Yetis and the Valks is because sometimes you can just use that in the blimp, and I will show you quite a few examples, but on some of the bases I do like bringing the siege barracks. So on this occasion I'm going to be bringing the blimp, and I'll show you in a second. As well with the, in terms of the pets, at this moment you can see that I'm using the owl on the queen, but that's not usually what I do. I usually have the yak with the queen and the owl with the warden, but at the moment I'm upgrading my yak, which is why I'm not using it. And if I had the owl on my warden and I start using him for funneling, a lot of the time there's air defenses on the edge which kill my owl straight away. So I prefer just putting it with my queen and just support in when my main army goes in. I do like using the unicorn for the king. It seems to keep him lasting for a lot longer than usual. And yeah, on this occasion I sent them into the base. I had 1 jump there for the center, another jump for the town hall. I lied, so on this one I still use the siege barracks because I knew that with the jump I was gonna be able to direct them towards the town hall, and that something was gonna get the town hall. Now you can see the Valk, Super Valk dies, throws the rage, and that's gonna help the Pekka get rid of the town hall. If that rage from the Super Valk hadn't been there, the single inferno would have fried my Pekka, and that town hall would have stayed there, but not on this occasion. That's what I found with witches quite a fair bit in Legends League at the moment. It was either a 3-star or a 1-star. There was no in between, so I started getting a little bit frustrated with them, so I decided just to switch it around a little bit and just come up with this. And then at one hub I was practicing with this army, and there's a few guys over there that I don't know how, but they're already with their max bases, and I was tripling their max bases with this army, which is why I decided to give it a go in Legends League. So at the moment I'm running it on Sir Agnach, and I'm also running it on Lord, and yeah, it's getting really good results. So that was the second one. This is the third one, and I always do the same thing. I use my Warden for funneling, and the only thing that I change is pretty much, do I want to use the Siege Barracks or do I want to use the Blimp? You will realize that in this army as well, I don't have the 3 witches that usually in a smash you bring with your king, but I find that the king with a super valk and the unicorn are perfect for the funneling on the other side. I don't need my witches over there, and the king just stays alive for that bit longer. Over here, sending my entire army, putting the jump down, and I'm sending the blimp for the tank hole. Now that rage that I bring in the CC, usually you want to use it for the blimp if you're using it, so that they can bring the tank hole down. You also want to use the warden ability just to make sure that the blimp does get to the tank hole. And yeah, so on this occasion, tank hole goes down, my main army is in the center of the base, getting rid of most of the splash damage, and then I can send my bats from 2 o'clock since there's not much splash over there, and I can get rid of those defenses just to support my troops that are up there and also support my royal champion. She's going to be running around. I still have 1 more freeze, which I use in the multi-inferno. Now the bats, sometimes they will last all the way till the end of the attack, and sometimes, like on this occasion, they get killed by the splash damage. But as long as you get quite a fair bit of value from them, just a lot of defenses, tanking for your heroes, something, it's more than enough. You don't need to have them survive the entire raid like in other attacks where the bats need to clear the entire thing. On this one, as you can see, the king with his unicorn still alive, the Pekkas, the queen is still alive, the warden is still alive, and this was another triple for us. Just get the arch tower and it's done. Okay, so the next attack, it's with Lord, and on this one, as you can see, the super valks are at level 8 only, so I can't wait to actually upgrade them, but I'm just farming the dark elixir to be able to do that. So over here I'm using the warden wolf just to get rid of that eagle, and then I've also preemptively put my 2 super wall breakers, one on a corner for my king to go in and another one for my main army to go into the center of the base. Obviously super valks are just like normal valks. If you don't create a good funnel, they're just going to be running everywhere, and you want them to go and follow the Pekkas inside and take the jump. That way when they die and they throw those rage spells, it helps the healers heal your Pekkas, heal your queen, heal all of your troops. So that's why you want them to go there in front with the Pekkas tank for them, and then the rage spells help the healers keep everything else alive in the center of the base. On this occasion as well, so sometimes when I see the tank hole on the very edge, but most of the buildings that I want to get rid of at the beginning, let's say a lot of the splash damage and everything is on the opposite end, then I use the blimp. If yeah, so that's pretty much the way that I think of it. If the tank hole is on the opposite side from where I want to come in, 9 times out of 10 I will use the blimp, and I will keep that rage for my blimp. If I don't have to use the blimp and I can go directly into the tank hole, then I use that rage for my troops as they're going into the tank hole, putting the jump so that they make sure to go into the center of the base. On this occasion, all of the bats survive, and they're going to be helping me clear out the rest of the base against the Daenerys. So it was nice. Now we've got this base as well. Now this one has a tank hole on the outside, so I decided to come in from the side. I'm also coming in with a blimp on this one as well. As you can see, I always do the warden walk, and on this account as well, I'm using the pets the way that I'm meant to be using them with Sir. So the queen has the yak, tanking and opening the walls, the warden with the owl, king with the unicorn, and Lassie with the royal champion. So send the blimp from behind to go towards the tank hole, use the rage for the blimp, put the jump so that my troops go into the center of the base. Now they were getting stalled quite a fair bit, so I ended up having to put the second jump so that they also go towards the eagle. Just make sure that they get that down. And you can see Pekkas, once they get rid of the Agnach tower, they're going to be going to that eagle compartment with the king. Is getting rid of that splash damage, and I can start with my bats. And every time I see what's left, and then I see, okay, where's the splash damage? Okay, where do I have to send my royal champion just to get rid of 1 or 2 of the splash damages and send the bats with her? That's usually what I do all the time. Obviously, on this occasion, this wizard tower thankfully started hitting the lassie, so that allowed some of my bats to survive, and they're gonna be able to start tanking the single inferno for a little bit, which is gonna give my queen just enough time to get rid of it, get rid of the skellies. We still have her ability, so we're gonna be able to get rid of these. There's only 4 Teslas left, so we've got 30 seconds left, and we've got the Yetis clearing up the other side. So this was another triple against Legend in Legends League. We've got this one as well, which is a very common base, and with the tank hole on the side. But what I saw were the vertical corridors, so I knew that I could go throughout the entire base if I had a jump on either side. So that's why wall break there at the gold storage, having the warden doing the funnel, the owl dies very quickly to the ADs, so I don't even care anymore about the owl. Put the jump down just to make sure that everything goes into the center of the base, and send the beam from behind just so that it goes towards the tank hole. That way I can use my jump at the back end just to go towards the final scatter shot. Use the rage with my Yetis on the tank hole goes down, everything else is moving in. As you can see, the valks do die quite quickly, but that rage that they drop is really good for my healers. As you can see, they just remained rage the entire raid over and over again. And also, as I said before, if you're planning this attack for war, then you don't have to bring Yetis in the blimp. You can just have siege barracks with hawks, siege barracks with valks, and this attack ends up being even stronger. Here the CC comes out at the end. It doesn't really matter. We still have the royal champion, we still have the queen, both of them with abilities. The lava hand is gonna go down now, nice and quick. Hopefully use the queen ability, she goes down, but we still have the royal champ ability. She gets rid of those defenses. Tesla goes down, but we still have a couple of Pekkas, the warden, and a king with his unicorn still alive and will remain alive for the rest of the raid and probably the next. So as you can see, I really like the king with the unicorn. I think it's a really good pairing. Oh, now we've got this base, which is quite common as well. Now I wanted to get rid of the multi-inferno, obviously being splash damage and all, but it was taking a little bit too long. And whenever you do a warden walk, you don't really want to go past the 2-minute mark, so you want to use maximum 1 minute in the warden walk. If you don't end up getting rid of what you wanted, the multi-inferno or whatever, you have 2 options. You either can rage him, use your rage for that, or you can just let it go and just, if it has created the correct funnel, just start with your push. Multi-inferno is good to get rid of it, but you're gonna get rid of it anyway. So over here, as you can see, with the tank hole, I usually like these type of bases. I like using the siege barracks, and I use the siege barracks to complement my king, funneling the other side, and then sending my main troops into the town hall compartment, and then just using the jumps so that some of my troops, and hopefully most of them, go into the center of the base. A lot of the time the splash damage is surrounding the center of the base, so then as you can see over here on this base, there was no splash damage whatsoever to the north, so I was able to use the freeze on the eagle and the ground expos just so that my bats get rid of the eagle nice and quick and the ground expos. As you can see, the Yetis are on the other side getting rid of the last splash damage, which was the wizard tower. My bat's still alive, we still have a freeze, we still have the queen ability, and this was an overkill as well against Frick style. Well, that's it for me. Let me know what you think of this army. It is quite strong and very easy to use actually. If you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time with more Clash. See ya.